So how do we make sure that we can reflect a person's story, but in a culturally responsive and humble way?
I think it's important to meet them where they are and really try to understand their lens of their world. I think that is so important. And for me to understand where my biases and stereotypes may be within myself so that the energy will portray the humbleness of what they may be trying to communicate.
It's a really good question and a really complicated question. And it's interesting that it comes up because the tool doesn't force you to be culturally responsive. No tool can force you to be culturally responsive, really, even if it asks specific cultural questions, because it's about my interaction with you, right? It's about how we interact with each other, how I approach you so that you can tell your story, so that I can hear all the aspects of who you are as a person and how all that fits together in the story that you're telling me right now and why you're coming for help, right? Or why you've been asked to come for help, as the case may be sometimes. So in order to get the best understanding of you, I need to find a way to help you tell your story. And I have to be aware of the context in which you're living in to understand the impact of that context on who you are as a person and how that impacts your story.
As they start to tell their story, I'm actively listening for things where a piece of their story is not just about what thing happened or what is going on, but it's about things that are connected to their belief system that's formed by their own personal experiences or their family experiences or the communities that they're engaged with, and saying that, can I try to better understand how they have come to kind of be the way they are, think about the things the way they think, and try to, find connection points there. Because in many ways, it increases the quality of care that can potentially provide, but it also enhances that personal connection, which I do believe is related to the amount of success I can potentially achieve when working with someone.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to really think about the differences that people identify with, right? Like we come from different walks of life, different places. We see things differently. When we consider people's culture and their values, their traditions and their customs, puts us in a better place to really communicate what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not very different from any other aspect of an individual person's journey.
Mm-hmm.
You just have more responsibility in terms of making sure you get it right when you're doing the work.
So I have responsibility as a professional to know it can't all just be on you, right? Or on me if you're the one asking me. So I think this is not about the tools. It's not about the cans, the ants, and the fast. It's about how we learn to interact with each other so that the cans and ants and fast can capture all of who that person is.
Because when we know someone's story that's individualized for them, and we can provide that care through just carefully going through that treatment process. Like, this works for you. It sounds like this will work for you. This sounds like this won't work for you. So it's almost like that grounding understanding from both of our parts.
Yeah. And if we can approach people with that humility, we can kind of lean into these ideas that it's okay that I don't, but we definitely can work together to get to a place where maybe I do better understand. I think we're going a long way beyond just trying to think about assessment and paperwork. I'm really trying to think about the transformational experience.
And it's really hard to talk about. Right? Because we have a lot of worries about offending other people or showing where we are in our own journey of understanding differences and how those differences impact people, and sometimes it silences us and makes it hard to talk about. And I'm not just talking about when people are different from you. Sometimes when people are the same as you, it's difficult to talk about as well, because we all have assumptions about who we are and our place in the world, and it makes it difficult to talk about.
Right. I think about how, sometimes a person's discomfort might create a barrier and an obstacle. And sometimes people's comfort can do the same thing.
Yeah.
When you're really comfortable with a particular cultural background and you're overly responsive, you're not always telling the full story either. And so it's a delicate balance when you think about something that's so true to people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? These are the things that you cannot undo in terms of what people feel.
Mm-hmm.
How do you illustrate something that you feel something about?
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing it for someone else. And so it's really difficult. But I think if we get ourselves put ourselves in a position to have the conversation, regardless of the comfort versus discomfort, I think we'd be in a much better spot to really paint the picture.
Right.
Someone could look like me. And I would assume, she's going to help me.
Yeah.
But it's important for me to still ask,
Yeah.
what does your roles, rules, and rituals look like in your household? How does that show up?
Right.
So that, if someone does not look like them, then say, I think coming out the gate and just say, look, I really want to understand. I may not understand your world.
Yeah.
I think that just breaks down all the barriers.
Yeah.
Because people may not have the courage to voice what they may be thinking because they may be afraid.
It takes a while to get to know someone, and that's okay. And so to do what you can in the moment is fine. You can't necessarily know everybody in one sitting right away, nor will they tell you everything about themselves.
I would agree with that, right? You're not going to hit a home run
No.
the first time out. Like, I continue to learn things about your culture and about your experiences. And I'd imagine that you're doing the same as we sort of interact on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
And just owning that, I do not understand. I'm not the same race as you.
Yeah.
But what I can do is walk. I can journey with you. And you can help me understand you.